DJ G3 Radio and Podcast, your true source for media and entertainment for the people.
Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of DJ G3 Radio Live. And my boy Mike Jones, Menace in the building. What's up?
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, you know how we do it, man. You know how we do it, man. Just another day here, Friday, getting ready to get it popping. Really didn't want to put the name. Oh my gosh, it's party time. Party time in America.
Party.
There's a party in the USA. What is going on in the USA, Mike Jones?
Wall Street is on fire.
Wall Street is on fire, right?
No, they shut it down. They shut it down real quick.
These guys are hilarious.
They're like, who let you in?
They're like, who let you guys in? They're like, wait. No, you guys watch too many movies. No, this is supposed to be just our show. If you didn't get an invite, you guys shouldn't be here. And then they
let's bring the people up to speed.
Okay.
So basically, there's some guys on Reddit and some Redditors, and one guy in particular, I don't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he started to see how they were short selling these stocks. And what it means is they can say, like, I got 5 stocks, right?
Right.
And so this guy comes in and he buys my 5 stocks and thinks that the price is going to drop, right? So he waits for he sells them back to me. Right? Or no, wait. No, he buys them. Then he sells them back at a lower price when he thinks the stock is dropping, right?
Right.
And collects that interest. So they buy up all the stocks when the company ain't gonna do shit. So what ended up happening was this investment firm bought a shit ton of these stocks and bought a ton of them, right? Well, there wasn't even enough stocks there to sell it. It's just on the idea. You know what I'm saying? So what ended up happening was these guys caught wind of it and they're like, you know what, let's shut this shit down, right? So they went in and bought a ton of GameStop shit, right? So in order for them to like prevent themselves from getting all these losses, they needed to buy the stocks back, right?
Right.
Well, when they started buying their stocks back, that only drove the price of the stock up even higher. So they lost billions.
Right.
They literally lost billions.
Right. And they're pissed about it.
Well, so apps like Robinhood and a couple other ones, they saw the trend and what these guys were doing, so they put a stop on it, right? And they put a kibosh on it. So these guys all they could do was sell. They could no longer buy any more of those stocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what ended up happening was we just watched in action how Wall Street has been dicking us for years. And now you're going to see who's on what team. Any politician right now that's out there that's like, this was definitely wrong. In my mind, I'm not saying that's really what it is. I don't know. I'm not in their brain. But in my mind, it's like they know that people, the chickens are coming to roost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are pissed. It's a definite peek into the window of absolute corruption in this country, because so they halted that trading, which is insider. We saw insider trading right before the pandemic hit. You had all these senators sell off their stocks because they had inside information. That's insider trading.
Exactly.
You had inside information about what was about to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So plus they're able to lobby. They accept money for these people to lobby for policies and shit that favor them and these corporations.
Right.
Then you also saw it again when they knew that Biden was about to pass this new stuff, and Nancy Pelosi buys up a couple $1 million worth of Tesla stock. You know,
mm-hmm.
She buys stock in Disney, Tesla, and the government is about to make all government vehicles have to be green, electric.
Are you serious?
So yeah,
that's interesting. That's actually pretty cool. About time we got that figured out.
Well, no, not when you're running on lithium.
Oh,
people don't understand this about the whole thing with Tesla. And Tesla seems like this humanitarian, just like a lot of these guys do, right? Keep in mind that pandemic hit. They signed that first CARES Act. The first CARES Act, we watched the largest upward transfer of wealth in human history. We watched Americans lost something between $6 and $8 billion, and it just so happened that the wealthy gained $6.8 trillion.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Oh, surprise!
Like surprise.
So,
right, I got you. I remember that. And
so,
and basically, that's all happening during the pandemic. Like that money
Right.
got transferred
So-
right in front of our face. And right
well,
now,
we watched Gates.
right.
Tesla, Soros. Soros made more money in 1 quarter than any person in history alive.
that's ridiculous.
But okay, so let's talk about Tesla though for a second, because a lot of people are under the assumption that Tesla is this good guy. Well, let me tell you something. Go look at a lithium mine. We're all concerned about these pipelines and this Green New Deal and some of
Right,
that
I heard him
pipeline.
talking
Think
about it.
bro, what's better for the environment, a pipeline or a lithium mine? And a lithium mine is it's terrible. I mean,
What do
seriously.
you mean by lithium? Okay, so a lithium battery.
Lithium is the battery. Lithium is the material.
Right.
It's one of the things that's got us still in Pakistan to this day. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
Because
Okay.
they found one of the during that invasion and after the time that they took down Bin Laden, they found one of the largest lithium deposits ever. It's kind of insane, bro. Like, and then all this shit is offshore, but it benefits everybody over here. You know what I'm saying? And so all this competition with these other markets and all this other stuff, we start to realize like they're all kind of in on the same game. Like all this other stuff that's happening to us is purely psychological, man.
Right. And they're just kind of manipulating which way, people get ran in their way. Either way, it's going to happen. And that's kind of why,
Yep.
when we were talking about when you're talking about the stock market and stuff like that, and Walmart, Wall Street, you could see the same thing. You could see stuff like that a mile away. And there's plenty of stuff that me and you have talked about that was pretty much dead onto there.
We predicted it.
And I was just like, bro, I'm like, how right now is the stock market going off when we're in the middle of a pandemic? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
They're gonna fix what happened on Wall Street before people get their stimulus checks.
Absolutely. That's the thing is,
that's a fact.
They're gonna debate whether or not we get stimulus, but Wall Street's getting bailed out regardless. Like regardless,
Wall Street got bailed out. We bailed out Wall Street during the housing bubble.
Yep.
Nobody went to prison.
Nobody.
They purposely crashed the market. They did it on purpose, right? And they purposely crashed the market. Millions of people lost their homes, and this was and it carried on into the Obama administration. A lot of people think Obama was this great president. We have not had a good president since 1930. Like, let's
33.
let's quit bullshitting. Like,
Right.
every other president that's ever sat in office, and this is a hard pill for people to swallow, because you got a lot of people that were like, well, what about Kennedy? He paid for his life. You got a lot of people that are like, well, Trump. Let's make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. They all play for the same team, and you're not on it. You're not on that team.
And we have never been on the team. And right now, it's kind of hard for the America to swallow. Is right now you're seeing the children of what they've been doing to us. This is a trend. Like you're seeing people out here wild. You're seeing all the politics. It's at its highest right now. This is what happens when you do this to people. This is what happened. This is a reflection of how the government has been abusing us by media, by rules and regulation, stripping us down for everything that we do, policing us down to the minor. Like everything that they've done has led up to how we're sitting right here. And even talking about the stock market.
It's done very psychologically.
Exactly.
Like, what did I tell you was going to happen if Biden got into office, right? I said about the executive orders. I said he was going to sign a bunch of shit.
A whole bunch of stuff.
I called it. And it's not because I'm some political science major. I'm a genius. I'm a stoner in a basement, somewhere in Wisconsin. You know what I mean? So there's no reason why I should be able to call it before a CNN analysis.
Right. These guys that study this stuff. You guys study these stuff for hours and you're studying charts, and we're just reading it for face value. I said that on the last episode. I'm like, I'm looking at both sides, left, right, whatever you want to call it, and I'm like, it's clear to see that they're on the same team and they screw everyone else. And I'm like, so why can't everyone else see that? You know what I mean?
Bro,
Why can't everyone else see that either side is screwing each other and we're willingly getting shifted? It doesn't matter which way it goes. It's already here.
Well, and they definitely play. They definitely have figured out the best way to play us against each other. You know, look, I want to get into this.
All right, hold on.
I want to get into this.
Woohoo!
Let's talk about the QAnon movement and the fringe right. You know, let's talk about that for a second. So, imagine this, right? You watch people that study conspiracy theories and that study history and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you have this movement that comes off of 4chan, right? Where all of a sudden, like you're getting information, and there was so much truthful shit in there, dude. Like I fell for it for a second.
I had hope. I was like, bro, there is a side of America. Wonderful. Yeah, there is a side of America that actually cares about us. I was like, I was gonna be a patriot for real, bro. Like when I seen that, I was like, man,
dude, it was the most like, and people don't understand that. People that are on the outside looking in, they didn't understand what it was. But it's kind of like the same as church to somebody that's been lost forever. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, like boom, here's all the answers and everything.
Right.
Here's hope.
Right.
Here's hope.
Right.
It's the same thing that Obama sold to us.
Yep. And here's answers to these questions that you had that you think is the truth, but you're only taking them because they're being told to you as if this is some secret. It's like, this isn't no secret. Like if it was a secret, they wouldn't tell you. Why do you think that it's a secret?
They told a lot of truth in there, though. They told a lot of truth.
No, and they did.
But what you ended up having happening was let anybody that's got like and I'm not trying to say anybody because I fell for the shit too. Like
I understand.
But it took me less than a week to snap out of it. You know, like because you got to understand. So what ended up happening was, like, I started studying this stuff. You know, when they went into everything, they talked about the Contra operations and how the CIA brought crack into like inner cities and started having crack distributed to fund Contra operations against Cuba, right? Which puts them directly in bed with the mafia because the mafia was mad that Vegas got took over, so they wanted to open up casinos down there.
And they wanted to open up casinos in Cuba. Yes.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't.
So what ends up happening, dude, is you had all these, like, you see truths like that, right? And you see that truth, but then all of a sudden they'll sprinkle in some shit like JFK Jr. is alive, and he might be. I don't know.
He could be.
But
right.
He could be, but then, or they'll give a specific date. They'll be like, get ready for 10 days of darkness. 10 days of darkness is coming. And then you got all these people that'll run around and they try to speak the gospel. Mark my words. In the next week, 10 days of darkness is coming. And if you're not down, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So what ends up happening is you take all that truth, right? All that truth that should enrage the population and get them behind a movement, like a real movement that's not hijacked. And you ushered all them into there, and then you sprinkled in some bullshit so that when they spouted it out, you looked retarded.
Like an idiot.
Right?
Instantly.
And same thing with BLM, dude. Like, look, the concept of Black Lives Matter was a beautiful thing, man. Like, somebody got murdered. They're sick of watching this shit happen. There's definite, like, there's more than enough proof across the board of how our country has disabled and crippled the black community and then turned around and acted like the saviors to fix it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. As usual. Here we go again.
Right. So the same thing happened. It was like, okay, well, we support Black Lives Matter. And then here's the figureheads, the so-called leaders of this movement on there talking about, we're going to destroy the nuclear family, blah, blah, blah. You know, like.
But I'm like, what? I'm like, that quick?
All this transgender and LBGQ, like, no, dude. That is not what that was. No,
it's not what it was intended for.
For this specific movement to show racial inequality. And instead of that happening, you know, once it came out, like, who's running that, and it just discredits the entire thing.
The whole thing.
So the foundation of equal shit should have been there, but because they ushered in all this other underwritten goofy language, you know what I mean? Like, bro, out of the 5,000 pages that we went through on that first CARES Act, or this last CARES Act, I mean, the last stimulus shit, out of those 5,000 pages, this dude pointed out on one of the threads I'm on, he was like, dude, somewhere 2,000 pages in you can face up to 6 months in jail for using Smokey the Bear in the wrong way.
What?
Swear to God.
Bro, like just right then and there? Wait, I'm finna stop this right now. We're gonna have to edit this out. I'm gonna cut this out. Remember to stop right here, Gilbert. All right. So anyways, that's ridiculous. And that's just hidden. That's just in the law right there, huh? Just sitting in there. If you don't read it, you won't know.
Dude, but they buried all this stupid shit into 5,000 pages. Like, dude, this was during the time for the pandemic where people are fucking, and you're writing bills about fucking gender studies in Iran, and you can't. Pirating is now illegal. If you fucking download some shit, you're in deep shit. If you stream some shit. Like, why is that buried in a bill during the fucking pandemic, dude? When streaming services are gonna go through the roof. Keep in mind that these politicians, Nancy Pelosi bought all that money in Disney, right? Who's all got money into UFC? Who's all got money into Netflix and these streaming services, right? And now all of a sudden, if you get caught streaming illegally, that's a felony, bro. Like, so that got buried into the CARES Act when they knew all this money was coming in, dude. Do you not see what your government is doing? Do you not pay it? Do you not see how these things work together during a pandemic? Now everybody's got to get vaccinated. Dude's buying up all the farmland. You don't see how this all kind of correlates together?
Yep.
We've got to stop pretending like these politicians and these people that we got to stop pretending like an election is a real thing, dude. 1933. The Emergency Banking Act of 1933. Look it up and understand what it really means. Don't look up the headlines that gloss over and make it look like it was a thing to bail us all out of a depression.
Right, because that's not what that was. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was advertised as, and that's how they sold it to the people at that time that didn't know what was going on. They
made the Federal Reserve a sovereign. Right, a sovereign over all of us. We were sovereign. That's what the American Revolution was about. That's why we were America.
That's why we were America. Right.
And by doing what they did, they made the Fed sovereign. They sold off our birth certificates. They sold off. Like, look it up. Like, this is not fringe conspiracy theory. Like, JFK Jr. is still alive.
That's something different. What we're talking about
this
right now.
This is in writing.
This is in writing.
You can
laws.
look it up and read it yourself.
These are laws that are actually there. And I was like, you guys got to be kidding me.
We don't own stuff outright.
Nothing.
We haven't owned anything outright since before the 20s.
It's not even possible for you.
It's mortgage.
Yeah. We're not
possible. You can pay off all your debts and still be working.
Yep.
Everybody is a slave.
Everybody.
We're a slave to the Fed. So once you understand that, read that stuff, and then ask yourself why we're still paying attention to what the hell they're talking about in D.C. Everything they've done during this pandemic and during everything else has been to benefit their pockets, to benefit their bottom line. Think about this. When the PPP Act went out on the first CARES Act, right? When that PPP went out, Nancy Pelosi's husband goes and buys up all these hotels in the middle of a pandemic when nobody can go to hotels. But guess what? He gets to keep everybody on board and count everything as a loss.
Jeez.
And he bought them right beforehand.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? Right beforehand. So if you don't think for a second that they're just gutting and stripping us out from the underside, dude, and that's them doing it.
Right.
The people you elected.
The people
so if you're sitting here mad on whether or not Trump got in or Biden got in, you're wrong. You're mad about the wrong shit.
Yep.
Period. Ooh, man, that was a rant, and I'm sorry. On that note, I'm going to refill.
And we'll be right back. This is DJ GT Radio Live. Got my boy Menace Mike Jones in the building. We're going to go in here. We're going to come back and get back at this. This is what's going in America live. You guys, let's catch up. Pay attention. Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. They're snatching everything around us, and they're making it seem like it's our fault. Commercial, please.
Just when it attempt to fill 24 hours of programming, here's some bullshit that happened somewhere today. We've got some footage here of the bullshit, which began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon, when residents in this neighborhood were shocked to see this fairly common thing happening. An attractive witness described the event in breathless terms.
I went to my window and I was like, whoa, there's some bullshit happening.
That happened right over there. I'm an older man, so you can trust what I say.
Authorities in special uniforms rushed to the scene to stand around while our cameras filmed it. Our reporter Keith Collins joins us now live from the scene of the bullshit through the use of expensive technology.
I don't even know how we got so backwards, man. Menace. Like we listen to all this bullshit and just swallow it all up. Right. Cause they said it. They keep lying, but you buying what they selling. What they selling. Red pill, blue pill, no telling. Try and virtue signal me like you working for the police. Waging war and screaming peace. Y'all look like some fucking sheep. I see ya. Think for yourself. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Wake up from hell. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. I stray away from them, no, I don't play with them. I do not fuck with their herd. I run away and I'm wealthy, they prey on them. They all content, it's absurd. Like, put on your mask, wash up your hands. Don't hang out with family or friends. You'll stay at home, wait by the phone. We'll let you know when it ends. How about you go fuck yourself with an ice pick? How about we switch places and you deal with some of our shit? Closing down the mom and pops, you heard them in the Walmart. Getting stopped by Paul Blart, twist DP in my car. Let's do as we say, not as we do. When we start working for you, it's true what they say, you do unto others as you want it done unto you. So, better than mine, we're crossing that line, cause we'll bring the shit to your steps. Yes, you started the mess and continue to test with our back on the wall, there's a blade on your neck. They keep lying, but you buying what they selling. What they selling. Red pill, blue pill, no telling. Try and virtue signal me like you working for the police. Waging war and screaming peace. Y'all look like some fucking sheep. I see ya. Think for yourself. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Wake up from hell. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. Question, if the mask works, then why the social distance? And if the distance works, then why I need a mask? The monopoly on facts, and now they got the vax. You can get it, go and play, just don't ever do the math. The turn of the screw, just straight on the stimulus, they keep on fucking no lube. Wealth trickles down, that's what they say. When has this ever been true? Never. 80% of the stimulus went to the wealthiest corporations. Gracious, face it, we are fucked if you think they gon' save us. The move is deliberate, middle they cripple it, keep us oblivious. Point on the differences, triple the deficit, lockdown indefinite, mask up for headache, if fear is a requisite, swallow the medicine, questions irrelevant, hang out and shop, but don't visit relatives. This is the regimen, trust in your delegates, no need for evidence, you're not a specialist. They keep lying, but you buying what they selling. What they selling. Red pill, blue pill, no telling. Try and virtue signal me like you working for the police. Waging war and screaming peace. Y'all look like some fucking sheep. I see ya. Think for yourself. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Wake up from hell. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. I've never seen us more divided. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Arguing with each other on points that we should be united on. You know what I mean? All I hear is fucking bye, bye, bye. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right at this point. It's time for us to stand together and stand up against this tyranny. All I hear is fucking bye, bye, before it's too late. Before they take everything from us. And we're allowing them to do it. We're allowing